multiplying and factoring algebraic expressions, factoring. The factoring expression is to write it as a product of other expressions called its factors. Once we have located a common factor in a sum or difference, we can factor it out by finding the other factor in each of the summings. For example, a times b plus or minus a times c both have a common factor of a. So we factor that out to become a times b plus or minus c. In the expression 24z plus 16, both 24 and 16 have a factor of 8. 24 is 8 times 3, and 16 is 8 times 2. So we factor out the 8, and we're left with 3z from the first expression and 2 from the second. If we distribute the 8 into that bracket, we'll end up with exactly 24z plus 16. In our second example, 12 and 9 both have a factor of 3. P to the 5 and p to the 8 both have a factor of p to the 5. So we'll factor out 3p to the power of 5. What's left in the first term is 4, and in the second, negative 3p cubed. Third example, negative 12 root y to the 5 plus 10 root y. Since root y to the 5 is root y 5 times, we can factor out root y. And then 12 and 10 both have a factor of 2, so we can factor out 2 root y. In the first expression, we're left with negative 6 root y to the 4, and in the second term, just a 5. Simplifying the root y to the 4, we end up with 2 root y minus 6y squared plus 5. In the expression 6y to the 4 plus 2y cubed minus 4y squared, each term has a y squared and a factor of 2. So we factor out a 2y squared from the expression. The first term has 3, since 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and a y squared, since y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. Second term has no constant, since factored out the 2, but we're left with a y to the 1, since y to the 1 times y squared gives us our y cubed. Finally, in our last expression, we factor out all of the y squared and 2, so we're left with negative 2. Last example, 2x squared y plus 6xy squared minus 6x squared y squared. Here, each expression has a factor of 2. Each factor has an x, and each has a y. So we take out 2xy. When we take out a 2xy from the first term, we're left with a single x. When we take out a 2xy from the next term, we're left with a 3y. And when we take out a 2xy from the third term, we're left with a negative 3xy.